Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series, race number 2 for Season 2. For tonight's race, the drivers are going to be going road course racing after the pandemonium at Daytona last week, finding John Forbes going to victory lane. But now, tonight's the night to figure out who's going to win at the Glen, as it's the Battle of the Goats, 135 for these drivers. It's been all real the buzz during practice. This track is a lot more tougher than they've been expecting. We cannot wait to show you all the action. My name is Sam Dyer. With me is Zach Hall, Robert Moyer running productions. And Zach, tonight, the drivers are going to have a handful road course racing for the first time this season. It's time to see who's got the, who's got the road course experience, and also who might be the road course ringer of the season.
Oh yeah, what a way to kick off race number 2 of your season, right? Have a road course like the Watkins Glen International Raceway that we're here with, and the new scan of it that we have here on iRacing. As you can see, it's got all the new curbs, all the fancy new runoffs. It's definitely a different little site, and a common site that we've had on Freaky Passes. We've had it on here for about 3 times now the past couple of weeks, so we've definitely become familiar here at Watkins Glen and this new scan. But these drivers here tonight for the second race, Sam, I think it's interesting to have this as that second race. So many more drivers that are, some drivers would miss a road course race. I want to put it lightly. At the beginning of the season, you don't know if you have the ability to, be able to miss that race and still make the playoffs. So everything is still on the line. Most of these drivers, if not every single driver in this league, is here tonight. It is going to be jam-packed from front to back, and going up the messes, it's going to be a little bit sketchy, I'd say, the first 10 laps or so.
It's going to be even more drivers than last week at Daytona. But before we get to racing action, talking more about the drivers that have got practice going on, we got to thank some of our amazing sponsors for here at the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series. Starting things off with Race Car Graveyard. If you're looking to find out yourselves diecast and that of the 1/24ths to 1/64ths diecast ratios, they've got you covered. They've got diecasts that are available, new, used, or even custom. They've got you covered. When you go to purchase, use the promo code RCGY and receive yourself 10% off. Also, go look up Race Car Graveyard on Instagram and message them that the Freaky Fast Broadcasting sent you. And as well, for the Rookie of the Year award, it's Hot Lap Designs. They were the qualifying sponsor last season. Well, why not talk about the rookies? They've been the drivers that have been on fire. And if you're looking to get yourself some fire schemes for that of your car, your suit, or gloves, Hot Lap Designs has you covered. They also do that of dirt, asphalt, oval, road course cars. They can make it all happen, and Hot Lap Designs can do it. Thank you to all the amazing sponsors. But Zach, this is the time for these drivers to really put up or shut up, because it's qualifying time. You want that track position because there are over 40 drivers getting prepared to race here tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be the time, like you said, Sam, to really put down the best lap you possibly can here. You want to have the best track position available, with it being 40 drivers here tonight. If you don't go here and put a lap time down, you're looking to start back in the 30s, I would imagine. So that is a insurmountable hole. I mean, there is, I guess, the possibilities of a yellow flag coming out if there was a major wreck or something like that, where the admins would have to throw it. That could help bunch the field back up. But remember, no yellows at that stage break at lap 18 here tonight, where you get those points awarded to that top 10. It's going to be tough for anybody that starts outside that top 10 if they want to have a chance to go for a race victory here tonight. So if you're looking for that number 1 position, I think you got to qualify at least within that top 6, maybe even that top 5, if you want to be able to have a chance to battle for it, just due to how much track position helps and how much clean air helps. This track, we don't talk about it a lot of times at road courses, but clean air is a valuable asset here, as this track's one of the higher speed road courses we go to. So aerodynamics does play a little bit of a factor here, even with these stock trucks.
As we're seeing the 3 starting his time, we're going to be also taking a look at the weather, as qualifying is going to be 10 minutes long. We're already 2 minutes in. These drivers are going to be finding themselves with that of not too hot of a course. It's 79 degrees Fahrenheit, 101 Fahrenheit is the track temp, with the northwest blowing 5 miles per hour gusts. So the drivers got a little bit of wind to worry about, but it's more so of, as you saw there, the 3, a little bit of a wiggle out of the corner, out of the S's. It's that heat that could be the major factor for them, trying to get back in that slipping and sliding icicle feeling. As again, we'll might take a look at the weather again here in just another 5 minutes, seeing those final 2 minutes if any weather change has occurred for these drivers. As here tonight, 2.45 miles in length, that of 7 corners in total for these drivers that they're going to be worrying about. And Zach, also a night for these drivers after the pandemonium at Daytona, the last lap chaos of drivers running out of fuel, having issues. This could be a redemption night for some, and others, this is going to be a woe of just 2 bad weeks in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I look at really the top 2 from our practice session there, and even up first on the board for qualifying. That's Trenton jumping the 46 machine. Had a tough break there coming down to the end of the race. Had contact with 3 wide with the last 4 trucks who made it through that giant wreck, really coming out of 2. He was that lead truck coming out of there, got involved in another one that really led down to what happened coming through the checker flag. So he's gonna look for a good bounce back after that that upset there with him getting taken out coming down to the end. And then also you gotta look at Justin Sipes. Had a terrible Daytona. I mean, involved in multiple incidents. Had some questionable moments even. He's fastest in practice. We'll see if he can do anything to put himself up near the front here with this battle going down. But right now, Trenton jump ahead of the board is Cody Reed. Also a great time for him, a 13:082 to hold second.
In second place for that 25 looked very quick and looks like just going to be going with the 1 lap. A lot of the drivers only going with 1 lap on this attempt. And Zach, tonight's going to be a little bit different than most nights. I think there might have been a slight mistake on setting up this session, as Ryan Ferraro going to be on course, as well as seeing some other drivers here attacking the lanes. But the drivers coming in with 2 faster pairs. I think that was a little bit of a mistake, but that is a factor that we got to touch on getting into this race, because that gives drivers that have some bad runs could be out of this thing.
Yeah, very well could be a helpful factor for a few guys out there, but we'll have to see how that works out. Yeah, because we do believe that is a mistake, so we'll see how that is all handled. But yeah, the 0-1 here of Aaron Kralik now, he's going to be putting down in a lap time here. And interesting to see, like you said, Sam, you said the first lap for a lot of these guys is going to be the fastest lap, and it's what we're seeing. And I even had a little bit of time to go out here on the racetrack this week and get a little bit of time in with a few guys and see what the racetrack and racing surface was going to be like for them when they came up to this race with this setup. And I can tell you, I was finding that my second lap would be the quicker lap. I just felt a little bit better on that lap with the pressures up. But yeah, interesting to see most guys producing it on that first lap. We'll see if anybody though can do anything with the second lap to be quickest here. And even does that track cool down too? Because that's another thing that's that could possibly happen. We got a 10-minute session longer than a normal 5-minute session. That gives a little bit more time for this track to go through a transition. But you could also look at this track going to possibly heat up, because right now it's staying at the same temperature we had seen before. But we'll have to see. We still got 5 minutes left. That's enough time for a few degrees to drop out of this racetrack.
Yeah, the factors are not changing for qualifying just yet, but the ticker board is certainly, as Thomas Green now going to be moving up to 4th place. John Forbes and Eric Rawling both going to be moving up just slightly, as we've had a total of 27 drivers put down a time so far. But again, coming into tonight, 40 drivers in total getting ready, and we've been looking over the drivers' chat. It seems like they're voting and trying to figure out, do they want to even use faster pairs? Because again, it's in the session. I mean, at least I have an ability to check to see if drivers use it. We'll see if any drivers do want to use a faster pair here tonight, as we're watching some other drivers hitting the track. Tyler Dangler going to be hitting the course. Rookie coming in, and I mean, Tyler Dangler, excuse me, not a rookie, but a lot of the rookies coming into here, Zach, looking very strong in the early going. We even saw it at Daytona, even here for the road course racing. I think it's going to be a trend we're expecting throughout most of this season. As coming out of the last corner, it's going to be that of Dangler, going to be starting his lap, going to be coming across the line. That first lap going to be for the 19, not going to be valid. Excuse me, up to 16th going to be for that of Tyler Dangler. So a little bit of speed there, but majority of the field, they're expected to be very close. The times are very on top of one another, which should be some great racing here tonight.
Oh, it definitely does. I mean, I think for some great racing. I think track position, as we always see in this racetrack at least, is a valuable thing to have. So just, we got to think that leader is going to have some type of advantage. But from there on back, everybody's pretty much going to have some dirty air, at least to start this race. So it's going to be pretty jam-packed from there on back. But I think you're going to see comers and goers, drivers who are going to be a little more aggressive on the tires, drivers who are going to try to save something, because they know no yellow flags here tonight. you're going to have to stretch these tires out to the limit if you want to do a one stop here. And, you can't be doing that if you're lighting the rear tires up. And right there comes by, it looks like the 2 of Danny Cochran. He'll set down I believe that puts him up to around the 4th position there. So the 2 machine there, he was 3rd fastest in practice. He'll go up to 4th.
So hopping on board with the 91. I've got ourselves 2.5 minutes left in qualifying. Martin Morales was trying his best to run, but he went a little bit wide. Now Jesse Thordick's going to be in 28th currently, as the 20 is going to be that's going to be the best for himself, but getting a little bit of practice here on the course. I think for the drivers that stay out, this isn't a bad call. If you felt like you weren't comfortable, you're just going to be finding yourselves staying out during qualifying and just trying to get any type of experience. 2 minutes left in qualifying for these drivers, as right now waiting to see who else could put down some fast times. It looks like Mark Morales is the only one that is going to be trying to put a lap down officially, as he's on his last lap. It's the 20, just on track, getting some lap experience, as all his timed laps are done.
Yeah, I mean, if you felt like you didn't have enough time to get practice in there before, why not use this qualified session? So, yeah, we're seeing a few drivers elect to do that there, Sam. But yeah, I mean, if you're starting back here in these 30th place positions, I think for these guys, a lot of their memo is just going to be survive. I mean, you got 40 trucks out here tonight. There's going to be a lot of carnage. There's going to be incidents that some guys are not going to be able to miss. And you'll be able to, if you can just navigate your way through it, you could salvage a race where you start in the 30s. You could possibly be looking at a top 15 if you never know by the end of this thing, just keeping your nose clean and getting to the end of these 40 laps, because that, I think, should be the end goal for drivers who struggle at road courses. Just complete the race. And you never know. By the end of it, you may be in a great position to salvage something out of a day that you thought was not going to be available for your speed.
And just getting reports in, drivers been told over drivers meeting. They recognized the mistake and have told the drivers, if you use a fast repair during the race, you will be DQ'd from the race. So drivers, Zach, this is going to be so important. They've got to make sure that they unclick the fast repair, and that's going to be something to focus on, because if drivers forget, that could be an automatic disqualification from this race by just making a mental error now.
Yeah, it is tough, because when you uncheck that, you come down pit road that one time, it will check back on. So it is an automatic thing that comes back on. It's tough to even police. It's hard to follow. So that is going to be on the admin group to figure that out, and they're going to probably be up for a long time figuring out who did what. And yeah, it definitely adds a little bit of spice to it, Sam. There, but yeah, definitely something that could possibly go down. So drivers got to watch out for that DQ.
Well, qualifying comes to a close, and that means we got to be thanking our qualifying sponsor. That's going to be at Sac City Diecast. Sac City Diecast has all NASCAR diecasts needed. Follow Sac City Diecast at Sac City Diecast on Instagram, and as well on that of eBay. And you can also find all the diecasts you need from various drivers, teams, and any diecast sizes. You can find them all on that of Sac City Diecast. Thank you so much for being our qualifying sponsor, as let's take a look where the drivers lie. Our top 10 gonna be crazy to see, but getting the pole award goes to that of Trenton Jump, that of Cody Reed gonna come away in second place, Tom Bourne in third, Danny Cochran in fourth with Thomas Green, that of they're gonna be coming away in sixth with Isaac Shelley, Logan Brakey, Justin Stimps, as well as that of Anthony Gaudio gonna be finishing out your top 10.
George Fonseca going to start in the 11th position in the 24 machine. 12th is going to go to James Trammell. 13th is going to be Max Foner with the 14th position, taking the 56th machine of James Loveland. 15th is going to go to Trevor Earhart. 16th is going to be the 00 of Ethan Smith. 17th place is going to be that 19th Tyler Dingler. 18th going to Robert Smock. 19th is going to go to last week's winner John Forbes, and rounding out that top 20 is Ryan Ferrara.
Then in 21st position is going to be another rookie coming in for his first race, to be Connor in the 45, as well as Gregory Shaw in 22nd. That of Jason Tamer going to be finishing out in 23rd. Aaron Kralik, Alexander Light with Thomas Walter, Eric Stamp, Jesse Thordick, Jonathan, that of Joshua Freed, and that of Paul in the 13 going to finish out your top 30.
31st going to go to the 9 of Cody Dorsey, and then the rest of these drivers did not put a qualifying lap down. It's going to be 32nd of John McAdams there. 33rd is going to go to Christopher Norris. 34th is going to be Kyle Rochelle. The 91 of Martin Rouse will start 35th. 36th is Carl Pooler. 37th, Sean Huffstiller. 38th, Blake Howell. 39th is Jonathan Pittman, and rounding out our 40 car field is Kerry Tribune.
All these drivers ready to see how they're going to conquer this 2.45 mile course for 40 laps. There is a stage break at lap 18, but no yellow will be thrown. Only the top 10 are going to get bonus points, and that's going to be the focus here tonight for these drivers as we're getting ready. Second to last corner. Drivers are getting ready to go here, Zach, and it's going to be a fun one as we're time to see who's going to be winning here tonight for the Battle of the Goats. 135. It's all on that Trent jump. Cody Reed, they've been fast all night long, and they're going to be hoping to see if their practice speed can translate to the race because Pace Truck is off, and it's time to go racing at the Glen.
Oh, you're going to see a great jump there from Trenton Jump. We'll see there down to turn one, downhill braking zone. Very easy to make a mistake as they all head down here. 40 trucks are going to try to survive turn one.
Turn one going to be primarily survived by everyone moving forward. They were almost four wide, but here's one of the most dangerous aspects of the course. It's the S's, where the drivers have been very tight, then loose, and the potential of a big one certainly is going to be here for the first couple of laps.
Yeah, it always seems like that first lap, at least from my driving, it was tight through that first time through the S. Is very tough to follow, especially when they head down to the bus stop chicane, using a lot of curve here, getting as close to that wall and entry. It gets a little bit dangerous there, and it looks like Danny Cochran in the 2 machine, he's the first one to have a little bit of a mistake as he slips back. He gets side by side with, it looks like the 15 of Thomas Green.
And we're seeing all the action. Drivers now going through the carousel, trying to survive. 40 trucks in total, roaring down the 2.45 mile course, and they're all in line trying to get set up. First place is Trenton Jump, last place is Kyle Rochelle, and Rochelle having to take a tow for the 21. Issues between himself and Tyler Dangler, it looks like.
Yeah, a little bit of mistakes throughout the field. And oh, look at this stack up here. Around the back here is Thomas Green, Danny Cochran, and they're going to have the 98 of Isaac Shelley there looking down into one. As these drivers stack up, we're having multiple positions change here. As everybody exits off the corner, there's the 13 head first into the wall off the exit.
I mean, that is one way to get yourself on camera, but for that of the 13 to Peter, he's going to be calling it a night. That is a blown engine, going to have to come into pit road, get service done. As up front, going to be seeing the battle for second place. It's Cody Reed, Tom Bourne. They're on top of one another, and Tom Bourne looking for a good run here tonight, but drivers even further back having a little bit of a scare, as Gaudio is going to be the one losing ground going into the bus stop.
Yeah, Anthony Gaudio on that 3 machine looks so good at Daytona. Got caught up. They're running out of gas, leading the bottom lane on that white flag lap. Right here, though, looking strong already to start off in that 9th position, but had to get the position up to teammate Paul Bregoli there. And the 7th machine is a little bit of a mistake and a little bit of a scare. But I know Anthony Gaudio loves this racetrack, so we'll have to see if he can make any progress in these 40 laps here tonight.
40 laps, 2 laps in, getting ready for lap number 3 to come to a start as the most of the field spreading out from one another. But Zach, this is the best time for a majority of these drivers to make some big moves as Kyle Rochelle in pit road for the 21, the 13. Paul also going to be in pit road with issues. That's going to be already 2 of our 40 drivers, major issues for themselves and look to be done for the night.
Yeah, some major issues already, and that just shows you at this racetrack you're never safe. The walls are so close to you. It's as close as you can get to through those S's to pretty much somewhat as a Monaco type of track, with walls on both sides of you, right at the exits of the corner, no place to go. So very tough to do. But right now, it looks like the battling has happened back around the 31st position. Actually, Carl Pooler battling back here with Martin Morales through the S's. As now they finally get a single file. You're going to have Jonathan Pittman also along with Blake Howell here. And as these drivers have stacked up, they've lost a lot of time to this lead group, already 30 seconds back.
Yeah, they are going to be so far back from the rest of the field, but that's just this is what happens. If you don't get that track position, you're lost. You're trying your best to just fumble to stay up front the best that you can. And also, big thing for these drivers, for some, this is one of your few races of road course racing in these trucks. Not very many drivers that run in the oval series in the NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity or in trucks really branch into road course racing that often. This is one of their few times that they come in that extra speed, ovals, but hey, overall, just trying to survive here tonight.
Yeah, everybody's trying to do their best here to survive this chaos of what we've already seen here at the Watkins Glen International Raceways. We're already through the first 3 laps, and yeah, Trenton Jump, I gotta say, he has jumped out to an early lead here, and he's putting down some quick time, Sam. I mean, he ran a 1:12.97 the lap before here on lap 2. That's almost as quick as he ran in qualifying. That would have qualified still on pole. So right there, that the 46 pole setter looking to be moving forward. But Trevor Earhart here from that 15th position, he's moved this way, already up to 13th, and continuing to try to go forward as he's got Max Foner next on his list.
Earhart, in other series that we cover throughout the week, he's shown that he can be fast in the Underdog League, trying to translate that road course speed here tonight. Going to be, like I said, 13th currently right now, having pressure behind him with James Trammell, and as well going to be that of our Daytona winner from last week, John Forbes, in 15th. So these drivers all looking good at the current moment.
Everybody looking very strong here through the first 5 laps, but Max Foner up ahead of him. I mean, I gotta give him credit. He said coming into this race this week he was going to be one to look out for, and he's doing pretty good right here in the 12th position. It just shows you how stacked this field is here with the Trevor Earhart in that 41. I mean, like you, bro, said, he's won races before in other leagues at road courses, and has been a very strong contender. And right now, running that 13th spot, it shows you how tough it is here in this truck series and how many strong contenders they have. And you got to be on point if you want to be able to get up here and battle up front.
You got Saw driver slow coming out of pit road. That was going to be the 10 of Corey Trabuk, who's going to be that driver going to be coming out of pit road. Going to be 2 laps down for the 10 machine. All the way back in 38th position as really drivers up front. They continue to race on and keeping it very, we're watching that of Trevor Earhart's point of view. And I got to say, keeping it racy, but you saw there Max Foner get out of shape. That's going to give an opportunity for the 41 to start running him down.
Yeah, it definitely is, and let's go let him close that gap just a little bit more. And each time, if you can just keep gaining, you'll get there sooner or later. It just gets tougher the closer he gets. It'll be very tough with that dirty air. But man, definitely seen a few guys already who got a little bit of damage. One notably is a driver up in the top 5 of the 2, and Danny Cochran. He's gotten to the wall, I believe, on the entry to bus stop the last time by, and that's allowed Isaac Shelley to break up into the top 4. So from 7th to 4th for Isaac Shelley. What a great race for him in that 98 machine.
Yeah, I mean, Shelley's going to be trying to do his best to keep up front. For Danny Cochran, a driver that raced last season, was looking very quick at the road courses, always put practice in. I mean, Zach, this is, yes, he's in 5th. This is a great run for himself. Kind of surprising for the 2 on if he's going to be able to keep up with this speed. And we were expecting possibly a winning truck this season, hunting for a championship. But with the amount of rookies that are showing up here in the top 10, this is going to be a lot more difficult than I think the 2 imagined coming into season 2.
Yeah, I think it's caught a few of them off guard and say, man, we're going to have to go back to the drawing board if we thought just because they finished in that top 3 last season at some of these road courses, and that winner of Vincent Sort at each road course isn't here, doesn't mean you're going to slot right into that winning spot. So a lot of drivers learning that for sure, but still Trenton Jump building that lead. And I wouldn't expect it from Cody Reed, Sam. This is the 25 is the one that is probably most surprising me of the returning drivers. I mean, last season he had some bright points at the road courses that I can remember where he had some quick laps. He had the ability to run, some good pace, but just never put a full race together. I mean, he is right now quicker than our leader. Actually gained a little bit last time by, so got to give Cody Reed credit in that 25 machine. He has definitely put the work in, and it's showing here tonight. He could possibly be looking for maybe his first NAISCC win, and as I say that, he hits the wall going into the bus stop, so got some damage on that truck.
As we're cycling through up to that of Cody Reed, going to be coming away with that damage. Do want to also give note, we do have officially 2 drivers out of the race. That of Peter Alley as well as Kyle Rochelle going to be done for the night. Rochelle was trying to get repairs done, accidentally used a fast repair. He is done. Going to be finishing about back there in 39th position.
Tough break there for those drivers already out of this race, and especially Kyle Rochelle. He was a top 3 finisher last week from Daytona. He was trying to come off that good momentum, but starting that far back, it just shows you're right in the middle of everything, and a lot of times chances for stuff to happen. So unfortunate for Kyle Rochelle, Pure Alley. So they have gonna have to bounce back next week. But man, look at this. Here we go. Tom Bourne. He's got a little bit of a threat here. And it's Isaac Shelley, who's really been storming forward here. And this 98 machine showing a lot of pace here late to the run.
Saw Shelley have a little bit of peekaboo, hoping that can get cleaned up as Tom Bourne out of the S's onto the backstretch. Big opportunity here for that of Shelley to come flying down into the bus stop. Decides otherwise. Going to be trying to set up for the exit of the bus stop here with a little bit of a slowdown, but back under the throttle. They're wrecking behind. Issues going to be for that of Danny Cochran as well as the 18.
Yeah, side by side to that bus stop between Danny Cochran and Justin Simonson. Oh, they wreck again, and they take Max Foner with them. That is not what you wanted to see there, getting up to speed. And that is just unfortunate. Wrong place at the wrong time for him, Sam.
Max Foner trying to get on track, but there's a bunch of grass he's trying to get through. And we noted on the rivalry of last week on how much that Logan Freeky, Mark Morales after that last lap incident. Well, that right there could be sparking another rivalry to grow. Watch out for Danny Cochran in the 2, as well as the 18. Stipe to be one of the drivers that could be the ones that might cause a little bit of drama moving on and forward into the race.
Yeah, it definitely could get a little bit, as I would say, spicy, Sam. So we'll have to see how that continues on, and definitely some fiery competitors. And man, Max Foner with that incident there, he's out of this race. Man, you got to feel for Max Foner. Wrong place at wrong time, just trying to get through it there. Those guys trying to get back up the speed, and they got into each other again. It spun Danny Cochran over into Max Foner, and Foner had really nowhere to go. And even Foner, I believe, he seemed like he actually didn't get into the wall. I don't know if maybe he got hit after that or had just decided, he lost so much track position, he called it a night.
Well, it's also one of those things where if you get hit in the wrong spot, I mean, if you get hit on the wheel well, that could be causing more catastrophic damage than just getting hit straight on the body getting T-bone. That could have been the reason why the 51 just tried to go in, I believe, in the second to last corner, did not want to slow down and just called it a night after that. So we'll see how well he goes as we're seeing 14th runner, brand new rookie debut race for the 45. Connor currently running to 14th, up 7 positions from where he started.
Yeah, great drive for Connor, man. I tell you what, a late entry in, and he's driven himself up here into the top 15, and now possibly going to be looking for even more than that. So we'll see what he can continue to produce. But a newcomer to the league, and hey, a great way to show it there by qualifying in mid-pack and working your way forward here for your first debut race.
Well, it's crazy to think we're already 10 laps into tonight's race. The driver's going to be having, again, the stage break is at the end of lap 18. Top 10 get points, but there will be no yellow thrown. There will not be a full course yellow. It's when the leader comes across the line on who's in the top 10, on who gets those bonus points. And that's going to be important bonus points to be grabbing for some of these drivers because they, with how this season's going to be going, but there being 10 bonus points out there at that stage break, you can gain a lot as the battling for John Forbes. He's got to be careful. The 18 is hounding on another driver coming out of the carousel.
Yeah, and John Forbes and him actually made some contact coming out of that carousel when they were getting up to speed. So, yeah, our last week's winner just trying to make it through there as we look back up to Trevor Earhart in that 41 machine in that 13th spot. He's directly behind that group, and yeah, you can see there goes Sipes for the move inside of the 11 of Forbes down to the final corner, and just shoves him wide into the wall, and definitely not going to be a favorite move of John Forbes there for sure.
No, this is not showing good favors at all. This is a great way to be, coming in as a rookie and rustling the feathers of drivers that were hunting for a championship last year. Hey, sometimes you got to get your elbows out and move some drivers out of the way. A little aggressive. We'll see if John Forbes can come back and try to wrestle those feathers back. But right now it is going to be a tall task as we ride on board with 41. Trey Earhart, he's under pressure as well as it's practically a 5-truck pack going on for that 41. He's got to be careful as he's got that O'Connor and Ethan Smith right on the tailpipes.
Yeah, we got a pretty good stack up right here, and not too far ahead of him is a top 10 position. I mean, Jay Trammell, he's about 2 to 3 seconds up ahead of this group, and man, I tell you what, and this is where the sparks are going to start to fly. We're getting down to the part of the run where it's harder and harder to hold these trucks. The rear tires are starting to go away. Drivers are starting to make more and more mistakes, so we could see somebody in this group maybe drive up into those points, and that's what everybody's looking to do. but also got to think there's no yellow, so you can't push too hard here thinking this race is all going to get brought back together. I'm interested to see what type of strategies are also played. 27 laps is what I found out we can do here on fuel here tonight. So right as soon as it's 27 to go, that window opens up for these drivers to come down pit road, and that's only really 2 laps away. So we'll see if anybody elects to do that super early undercut, but I expect most to come down right around that stage, lap 18, possibly even 19.
As we move forward, the battle for third place, side by side, going into the bus stop, and it's going to be Shelly. Little bit of a wiggle, has to falter back, losing ground, and now going to be that of St. Thomas Green into the mix. Third, fourth, fifth, all on top of one another, and Isaac Shelley got to be feeling frustrated. Cannot figure out how to get by the 16 of Tom Bourne, and also you can add another driver into the mix. The 24 is going to be adding on to the tail of this group.
Yeah, George Fonseca up here up to the 6th position from the 11th starting spot. I mean, what a drive for him. He was very quick in practice, so not surprised to see him up here along with Isaac Shelley. But Thomas Green showed good long run pace here. Isaac Shelley a little bit of a wiggle. It's going to give the driver behind him of Thomas Green a chance here side by side now. Here going down into one. Thomas Green looks to the inside, and it looks like Shelley just going to give the 15th the position. Nice smart move here on lap number 13. Maybe for the crossover here down to the S's, but can't put the power down as right now. Look at this, the 24 to the outside down through the S's. This is a dangerous spot here. Can he hold the position to add the inside up to the next S? Yes, he does, but they're going to be side by side. Exit is slowing them both down.
Little bit of a slip up from the 98. Here comes Fonseca. They're going to be still side by side just slightly, but it's going to be Shelley holding strong with the power of the draft, giving that other 24 a chance to the inside. Thinks otherwise. That's a smart move because they were coming up to a very shallow entry into the bus stop, and you just reset, you try it again, but they got to be careful because the 7 is also on the charge, gaining up on this hard racing that's going on for the battle for 5th.
Yeah, this is a hard battle definitely going on. Look at them using all the racetrack there. That's why they paved it, I guess, for these drivers to go out there and use that racing surface. But I can tell you that racing surface out there is a little bumpy, and it kind of falls away, and it's off camber, so it can get a little bit dangerous. But you look too far behind these guys. Paul Bragoli, who started 6th, he's in 7th right now. He kind of fell back, but he's been holding station right here, only 4 seconds off the top 3, and doing a great job. If any of these guys up here get a little bit of mistakes happening, Bragoli might be able to capture a few more spots.
And Zach, as we've been watching the majority of this, the middle of the field here for the first half of this race, do want to give note, Trenton Jump, yes, he's ahead by 5.6 seconds over second place of Cody Reed, but Trenton Jump's now starting to enter some of the most dangerous racing, lap traffic here at the Glen, and as a leader, and the way that these drivers are running, this is not a comfortable position to be placing yourself into.
Oh, no, for sure. You see Sean Huffstutler along with the 71 of Carl Pooler there going wide to let Trenton Jump by. And that's, if you're Trenton Jump, that's what you want to see with this big lead. But, man, with the 40 trucks out here, I mean, yeah, we do have a few already, into out of this race, especially with really only 36 out there still turning laps. So not as many trucks as 40, but man, he's going to be running into more traffic here. And by the end of this race, he should be in the depths of traffic, and that's where you got to really, really worry if you're the 46 machine.
A little bit of a shimmy there with the rear end coming out of the final corner and now down into turn 1. Those little shimmies, they're just going to get bigger and bigger. We're 15 laps in here at the Glen as the drivers, Zach, with it being lap 15 laps in, we're now starting to see the drivers that might have been trying to protect or at least trying to find that rhythm, because looking at the times, almost everyone is running a 1 minute 15 second time. Some are in the lows, some are in the highs, some are finding that sweet middle ground, but everyone seems to be running pretty much the same lap times in the top 15.
Yeah, this is what we call that plateau point. We see the ovals all the time. We see it here even on the road courses. You get to that certain lap time, and if you hit your marks and you get the most out of these old tires, you can continually hit that time over and over again. It just seems to be something about the wear here. When we get to that certain point, that's what the tires do. And mostly, I think it comes down to heat on the tires. You get that heat build up, and that's the maximum temperature you're going to build up to, and it continues to fluctuate between straightaway to corner. So I think that's where you see these plateaus effects with these tires, with how much the heat affects them. But right now, looking at 29 of Logan Brakey, finished top 2 last week. Right now in the top 10 again, looking for a good finish, and I'm sure for him that'd be pretty great for him to finish in the top 10.
as we continue to watch this going on. And we're actually going to move back up front ahead of them for the battle for 5th place, because that has been a drivers almost wiping each other out. Fonseca, as well as that of Thomas Green, now going to be that of also Bergoli. They have been racing, and they almost had calamity going down the front stretch as a lap car. Valley was in the way for a quick moment. Luckily got out of the way as the 13's back out on track after getting repairs done. That is another driver for the field to watch out for.
Yeah, and Thomas Green there, he was the one that was directly behind Tom Horn in the 15. They went into the bus stop, and he got stuck behind the lap traffic, trying to go to the outside, made a mistake, and that let the 98 of Shelley go by, and then Fonseca made the move on him again after he got stuck behind that same lap car of Paul Alley. So definitely an interesting circumstance there for Thomas Green to lose 2 positions due to the same lap car, but man, he'll have to try to fight back here. As you can see Fonseca trying to run Shelley down now, as this has definitely been the most eventful position so far in this race.
It's been very eventful for a lot of these drivers, as our leader Trent Jump has done a great job carving his way through lap traffic and trying to keep himself safe. Some other big names, drivers that have been having some big moves, I should say, tied with some of the biggest moves so far is going to be that of Connor here in the 48, as well as the 35 of Gregory Shaw. Got the Eric Stamp further back. See the slight damage on that Toyota as Eric Stamp in 24th position, just trying to run as well as he can, up 3 positions from where he qualified. And sometimes this is all that you can ask for. Just survive the night. Eric Stamp did not have the best run at Daytona last week. Just trying to get any type of points to start moving in the right direction here early on.
Yeah, trying to get any little thing you can here. And, for some guys, that aren't road course, drivers, they normally don't tend to do well here. A top 15, top 10, top 20, they'll take that. So, Eric Stamp's closing in on that top 20. So, hopefully maybe at some point he'll be able to, take grasp of that. And he's only about 4 or 5 seconds off that. So, it's very possible for him to still gain that amount of time left in this race. But I tell you, a couple laps ago, our 2nd place driver, Cody Reed, he got stuck pretty good in traffic, and that's brought him back into the picture for Tom Bourne here. It's only about 2 seconds separate them, as Reed was way off the pace the lap before.
Yeah, Reed got held up. Tom Bourne got held up, and for that Tom Bourne, he's got to be careful. If he loses any more ground, he's got a hornet's nest behind him. But for Cody Reed, luckily he's got that of about almost 3 seconds of buffering between himself and Tom Bourne. But you look back from Tom Bourne's rear cam, you're going to see a cluster of drivers that are slowly growing on him, and it's dangerous back there for Thomas Green and others, as there's a little bit of gap between themselves, but there's been trying to get by lap traffic that's been the biggest issue for the majority of these drivers.
Yeah, it really has been an issue so far, and it's been tough. And traffic, that just shows you Trenton Jump. He had the
luxury behind them issues. It's going to be Thomas Green with that of Carl Pooler. Pooler made the initiation looking like he was just going to slow down and let the drivers go. It did not work out, as well as now the 3 is going to be having issues of that of Gaudio, and now going to be running and just showing lap traffic can be an issue for these drivers that they don't let the leaders go.
Yeah, this is going to get more and more interesting, I think, as more of this, more of these drivers get farther into traffic. And this race is not even, to halfway. We're right here a lap away from it, but still a long race still to go. And man, if you're Trenton Jump with a giant lead like he has over 9 seconds now, he definitely got to think he's got to put this into a little bit of a very much non-aggressive mode. If you see something like that happen, check up, give a few seconds away, and just kind of let it go. So we'll see how it plays out for these drivers, but it's definitely been a wild one so far, as our leader is closing in on more and more traffic, which you can see the battles here in the one. This is
the next group our leader's going to, but before it all changes, stage break. Winner goes to Trent Jump. Cody Reed in 2nd, Tom Bourne with that of Isaac Shelley, that of Fonseca, as well as that of Bergoli, Trammell, Logan Brakey, as well as Thomas Green. And Stipe going to be finishing out those top 10 for those drivers, going to get bonus points. And for the stage break, got to give a big thanks to that of North Star Designs. North Star Designs, they've got you for that of graphic designs, logos, websites, and more. You can go find samples at North Star Designs on Instagram or even on TWNORSE on Twitter and on Twitch. You can get yourself started. Look to the stars, North Star Designs.
Well, that's definitely a good inning for a few of those guys getting points here at that stage. But yeah, for drivers like Trenton Jump closing in on that group up ahead of them, it's going to get a little nerve-wracking there. So we're going to have to see how it plays out for them. But yeah, we've already seen traffic be a major issue. And even just, someone has a mistake. We've seen rejoins on the track be an issue. If someone has a mistake getting back on the track, rejoins unsafely, some drivers know where to go, and what can you do there? So it's one of those unfortunate things with road course racing where you got to be able to know where you're at all times. If you rejoin in the wrong spot, you could be definitely messing up somebody's day.
You definitely can be. As the drivers are now halfway here at the Glen, we're gonna step aside for a quick moment, but you won't miss a thing here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, as we'll go non-stop action here at the Battle of the Goats 135. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the NAISCC Great Race Car Graveyard Truck Series. This is race number 2 of Season 2 for that of the Battle of the Goats, 135 at Watkins Glen. Drivers currently under green flag pit stops. Our leader, Trent Jump, already came in. He comes out in 4th place and is ahead of all the other drivers that have already pitted, feeling good, clean, and up front. And this has been a wild one to watch as drivers got to keep themselves on their toes as they continue to trickle into pit road. Right now, it is that of Thomas Green leading the way into turn number 1 here on lap 25 of 40. My name is Sam Dyer. With me is Zach Hall. I've also got Robert Moy running productions, doing a great job for himself. But Zach, these drivers, now is go time for those that are stretching out as long as possible. They've only got a couple more laps to go before they have to come to pit road.
Yeah, it's going to be necessary here pretty quickly for him because we said about 27 laps earlier, so this is lap 25. Probably going to need to hit pit at least here in 2 laps. But behind this group, you can see it's Trenton Jump there in that 3rd spot. He's behind the lap car of it looks like Jonathan Pittman there. But you also got Connor Kurtzel there in that 2nd position, right there up ahead of him, and Thomas Green. So this is going to be a little interesting situation. How hard does Trenton Jump push here on the brand new tires? Does he try to not lose time, because he had a major gap? I think he could definitely have time to give up and be pretty cautious about this racing.
Kind of just, at this point, some of the drivers are just lingering and hoping for the best. But Trent Jump, he's being pressured and moved around as you got that of the 49 going to still be, getting by lap traffic is one of the biggest things for these drivers to be worrying about, as Trenton Jump is now that of 1. He's still being pressured by everyone around him. This is different. Trent Jump having someone absolutely test the limits of the 46. First time he's really had this all race long.
Yeah, Jonathan Pittman there definitely not letting him try to get by there, trying to hold station on that 46. I think they made a little contact coming out of 7 there, and then I don't think Pittman liked that too much, so he tried to go after the 46, but luckily for his sake, nothing there. But he goes and misses the bus stop there. That was on purpose. Naughty.
That was on purpose if I've ever seen it. Pittman was absolutely being torched, and over the radio, Trent Jump said, "Oh, see ya." And Pittman said, "Nah, I'm taking you with me into the bus stop," and they were going to be wrecking each other. He takes them out just like that. The 46 going for a win, and possibly not, after his teammate Logan Brakey took out Martin Morales last week and couldn't give the 91 the win. Given now Cody Reed moving up into 2nd place. The provisional leader is now the 25.
Oh man, you never like to see things like that, but man, that is a tough break for Trenton Jump here, and he's going to be trying to get back, but Cody Reed directly ahead of him. I mean, he's still got a chance, but that car heavily damaged, and that definitely was not expected from us up here. That was the last thing I thought was going to go down between those two.
I mean, I knew he was wrestling his feathers. Ruffling his feathers just a little bit was Pittman to the 46, but he just wiped him out clean. Said, "You know what? Bad talking me over the radio. We're done." And takes out Trent Jump. Cody Reed now taking the provisional lead. Still waiting for Thomas Green coming to pit road as we're on lap 27. And Tom Bourne also got to be looking at his chops. Also that of Shelley, because our leaders, they're now on the battle. And Trent Jump does not have the same clean truck, but certainly there's speed underneath this 46.
Oh, he's still got a lot of speed. He's right behind this 25 machine. And yeah, I think if you're Tom Bourne and Isaac Shelley, you're the one looking for it. But here it comes again. And I think that is a big no.
Pittman's still there. Pittman is still in front of the leaders. He's waiting. He wants Reed to go by, and then he's going to wipe him out. But the question is, who's going to be collected with this madness? The 49 stays out on track. He goes low. He's going to go into pit road, potentially. But now they're side by side, keeping it close. Pittman is not giving up. This is dangerous, Zach, going into turn number 1, because the 49 could absolutely dump Trent Jump once more.
Yeah, this is I'm surprised this hasn't been dealt with possibly, but yeah, lets him go by there into the S's, and maybe we stay clean here from there. But man, that definitely was an interesting scenario. Here comes Tom Bourne, and there's still a chance heading down to the bus stop. If I'm Tom Bourne, I got to be worried, but it looks like the 49 is just way off pace.
McAnally now going to be in the mix of the mingle of this, trying to just dive his way out of the way, and it looks like Pittman will give it going, but the 13 going to be slow holding up Tom Bourne, but the battle for the lead, provisional lead we should say, is Thomas Green still has not pitted, and we're on lap 28, still waiting for Thomas Green to come in pit road. We can't leave this action. This is all on the line, and Zach, both of our leaders, they're damaged, but here comes that trend jump. He's the best run he's got to the inside, going to the second to last corner.
I tell you what, Jonathan Pittman tried to take him out, but guess what? He is still roaring on, and it's just showing his pace. And Cody Reed, big mistake. He almost had a tank slapper there as he keeps it straight. And now Trenton jumped back to the lead, and that's definitely going to add fuel to the fire for Trenton jump.
And now with Trenton jump pulling away, where's the 49 at this point? Where is he? And will he be parked? I believe he's still out on track. Is Pittman, and he is. That's going to be a questionable mark for our leaders on who is going to, or admins are going to make the call to park Pittman, or will they just continue to let him race on? Tom Bourne in third place, and even our leader, I mean, this is, I don't know what made these drivers feel like, hey, it's time to just make that type of a move, but that is going to be something talked about even more than that of the Logan Breakey incident that happened last week.
Oh, no, for sure. That is going to be the major talking point. I mean, we're coming down to 10 laps, and we'll probably talk about it all the way up to the final 40 laps. I mean, that is a major talking point, you know. And like I said, from a driver point of view, you don't want to see that happen, especially to a leader out there running. You know, I understand, you know, frustrations out there, but, man, you definitely don't want to see it affect the results. And right now it hasn't technically, but it's definitely made it a little bit tougher for Trenton Jump. He's done a heck of a job with that truck, whatever damage it's got. He's hanging on to it right now and really starting to pull back away.
He's still pulling away about 4/10. That last lap, it was actually that of Cody Reed that ran faster. Tom Bourne, the fastest of our top three. And that's something I wanted to note on here, Zach. The long run. We talked about at the ovals. When you get damage, fresh tires, you can stay up front and run well. But I'm curious on the fact that these drivers, with the damage at road course, how well is that going to be going moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, as the run goes on, you would think, you know, the lower downforce of that damage is going to affect that car. As we look back to Paul Greg in the 7 in the top 5, kind of mind his own business back here. But yeah, that damage, I think, as the run goes on, will get a little bit, make the car a little bit worse than what it would normally be. But from what I've seen so far, I mean, he looks good on straightaway speed, just probably maybe lacking a little bit of downforce. But other than that, he's hanging on pretty well. It's just going to be the key, like you said, Sam, as the tires wear on, how much does that damage affect him? And how much of his tires hurt from him sliding around and getting pushed around like that, too.
Also want to fade back to 9th place because there is a gaggle of cars going through the carousel right now and drama filled there. Logan Breakey spun around that of John Forbes, winner from last week. And they're going to be 3 wide back there coming out of the carousel. And it's certainly something to watch. Breakey's got to be careful. He's already, made some enemies. And John Forbes in the 18, they've found themselves with a couple of door slaps here tonight. The drama is filling up. 10 laps to go. And oh boy, Zach, I'm loving the fact that we're starting to see this drama filled. It was dramatic last season. It was just all that of Vincent Sora and Mark Whitley. But here this season, it's everyone scrapping for everything.
Yeah, it's really got dramatic, that's for sure. And it's only the second race of the season, Sam. Man, we thought we saw dramatics last season. We really did with Mark Whitley and Vincent Sora. But man, the dramatics of this week, it's definitely going to be interesting. It's going to set a precedent of what's to come. And man, this race of Aaron Breakey in front of him is definitely getting a little tight between these group here. Connor is really trying to put the move on. Same with the car behind him of Justin Sipes at 18, who's trying to come back from that wreck with Danny Cochran earlier.
Sipes trying his best. Connor needs to make the pass. The 45 has just been on the back bumper, but I think he's been trying to just pressure and force Logan Breakey to make a mistake, and he has not done so. Might have to use the bumper at this rate to try to move some drivers around. We've already seen it happen multiple times. Trenton Jump, who had over that of coming into tonight's race, coming into the pit stop, over 8 seconds of a lead over Cody Reed. It's now down to a second, and all because Trenton Jump was taken out by Jonathan Pittman, and Pittman's still out on track. But luckily, Pittman now is actually running correct laps, and he's not just losing ground to try to take out the 46 once more.
Yeah, definitely good to see. Yeah, he's continuing his way, and you know, don't let everybody decide what happens after the fact of this race that we'll probably have a long review about. But yeah, definitely an interesting situation. But this battle here for that top 10 still very, very close, and even behind that, Thomas Green is side by side with John Forbes going up through the S's for that 12th and 13th spot. So this group right here, really one of the toughest battles, but still that top 3 only separated by 2.5 seconds. If someone makes a mistake up front, it's going to be anybody's game. But this bus stop is where Sipes was trying to make a move earlier on. Cochran decides better of it here and backs out of that situation.
Dives are going to be setting up for the exit of the bus stop into the carousel. Going to be diving it down low. Best opportunities at all race long. As he dives down low, tries to get off the corner, and it's just going to be holding strong. He's Connor as driver further back. I think that's Thomas Green going extremely outside, but luckily there's enough asphalt to keep him back on track.
Yeah, luckily, like you said, enough asphalt out there. Old scan of Watkins Glen, he'd been off in the grass and probably in the barrier for goodness sake. So there he goes diving into the final corner. Gets a little bit loose as he steps too hard on that brake in the rear and kicks out. A little slide off the exit too, but this battle continues on, heading down to 1 with 8 laps to go.
8 laps to go, and we've got to move up to the lead because it's closed in lap car, really affecting. It's Cody Dorsey. He did not get out of the way through the bus stop. Bad timing to catch a lap car, and Trenton Jump just saw his lead of 8 tenths, now down to 3 tenths. Cody Reed is there, coming up to, we're at 8 laps to go, coming to 7 when they come across the line.
This is going to be tough here. Can Cody Reed formulate something to get around Trenton Jump? Because the closer you get, the worse that dirty air and the aerodynamics of your truck is. It's going to be the toughest heading up that hill through the S's. The key here, get through 1 good, be close enough coming out of the S's so when you get to that bus stop, you can try to close the gap down to maybe make a move in this final group of corners.
And at this point, I mean, already saw Pittman frustrated. I mean, still going to have to go back and have that review. That damage for the 46 has changed the whole entire dynamic of how tonight's race is going. But there's also more lap cars for our leaders to worry about, as we're going to have that. Sean Hutzstutler and Eric Stamp going to be the next few, as well as Christopher Norris. Going to be the 3 drivers that could be influencing tonight's race if they don't get out of the way cleanly. Is Trenton Jump, Cody Reed. They're going to be your front 2 right on top of one another through the bus stop, and this is where Reed can really gain some time if he can get out of the exit cleanly.
Yeah, he was able to get close with that lap car last time, but this time losing a little bit of ground. And Trenton Jump managing that damage very, very well. And really, I would believe, I think it's mostly probably affected him even on the straightaways, because through the corners looks very, very strong. But right now, still definitely able to manage it, because we saw the gap he was able to pull early in this race. It's definitely affected that race car. And even Cody Reed, I mean, he's got major damage on his right front where he's collected the wall a few times on the entry to the bus stop. As long as he can stay close like this, Sam, with 6 to go here, the pressure is on, and Trenton Jump has to be picture perfect here.
Trying his best to now catch up to the lap cars ahead and hope that they do not influence this race, as just like that, a little bit of a shimmy out of the corner, giving Cody Reed a chance to get back on the throttle, catching up. The driver ahead of Cody Reed, Trent Jump, that's going to be Sean Hutzstutler first. Then in front of them is going to be Eric Stamp. Stamp is going to be the most friendly one to these drivers up ahead, as Stamp is going to be a teammate with Trent Jump. But Cody Reed, he's had already enough help coming into the night, and I'm wondering, just based off of Logan Brakey's statements from last week, will we see a dive bomb from Cody Reed and be willing to just absolutely door slam the 46 for a win here?
Great job there getting out of the way by the lap car as they come by, and Reed was so close heading up to that bus stop chicane, and through the carousel again, Trent Jump through those 2 complexes of corners, gaps out that 25 machine. I think through the S's and up the hill is really where the 46 is struggling. If Reed can get close enough, stay close enough out of 1, he may be able to have something type of move to stick it to the inside into the bus stop. That's looking like possibly his best chance here as we come into 5 laps to go, and Reed right against the wall almost on the exit.
Reed, if he doesn't just throw this race away and keeps it close, there's going to be 2 more lap cars that are going to influence tonight's race, with it being 5 laps to go. That's Eric Stamp expecting to see the 53 just get out of the way for his teammate, and potentially could get out of the way for Cody Reed. But it's the driver after that, Christopher Norris, a wild card. We don't know how we're going to be seeing Norris react to our leaders. Will he challenge and just hold on and try to stay on the lead lap? Will he try to just let the leaders go. Again, 5 laps to go. Trenton Jump's been the most dominating car. He's led practically every single lap here tonight. Got wiped out by that of Jonathan Pittman, but still able to race at full song. There's scrub marks all over. There's scrub marks on both of our lead drivers as Stamp goes high, gives the space. There goes Jump, and Stamp gonna be split in the middle, keeping himself in between Cody Reed and Trenton Jump.
Yeah, we'll see exactly how this plays out down here to turn number 7 and 8 as they head down to the final 2 corners. That's going to be 4 to go when they take the line. Trenton Jump doing a great job with the damage to manage what he's got, but here comes up on the back of Eric Stamp to the inside he goes, and Stamp does a good job, holds his line, doesn't hold him up much, just ran his race, and that's exactly what you want to see out of a lap car.
Yeah, I mean, there was either you try to just get out of the way blatantly through the carousel like we've seen plenty of others, or keep yourself at race pace, and it was a great job by Eric Stamp to hold off Cody Reed. Reed's going to need some help, and there's just going to be one more driver ahead. 4 laps to go. We'll see as Trenton Jump, not expected to catch up to Christopher Norris this lap, but it could be with that of 2 laps to go, maybe even the white flag, when we're going to be seeing another lap car potentially influence our leaders. But as the gap is 1.3 difference, we got to go back to a field of drivers racing hard. In 11th, it's the 18 and Forbes that are still on top of one another, and Thomas Green is added to the mix. These drivers have been on top of one another since we were watching the leaders, and they're still side by side going down into turn number 1.
They really have been, Sam. This group has not let up one bit at all. Sipes up ahead of him, has got by him with the 15, the 11, the 45. All of these drivers battling super hard as Breaky's pulled away from this group that they were battling, but 4 to go. It's anybody's game here for a top 10 as Forbes, our winner from last week right here in 11th, is holding him up, is letting Sipes get away down the back straightaway here. It's going to be Thomas Green side by side. The wiggling, the tires are worn out. They head to the bus stop side by side here. Going to be dangerous.
As they're racing hard here across the line. 3 laps to go here at the Glen. Battle of the Goats. As these drivers put it all on the line, just trying to see who can stay right on that 11th place finish. And it's really, I mean, this is always fun to watch road course racing for drivers that really have nothing to have on the line there. No, they're just racing for those middle pack points. And now Gregory Shaw getting the 35 into the mix of things here.
Yeah, getting right up into the mix is Gregory Shaw. It's he's able to get a spot there from Connor in the 45 machine, trying to get back away. But Green did a great job, went through around the outside into the bus stop. Actually made a little bit of contact through the doors and was able to get there. But man, I tell you what, Sam, we're gonna be coming to 2 to go next time by. It's only about 4 car lengths for the lead here as we jump up through the battle, as I was just about to say. And man, Reed was able to close it back down. The speed is in the straightaway for this 25. If he gets close enough, he may have a chance coming out of one of these corners.
Also, they're catching up to lap traffic. Christopher Norris is going to be that driver to watch out for. As it's going to be Trenton Jump going a little bit wide, trying to find any extra speed. There's actually going to be 2 lap cars ahead. It's going to be Norris and Carl Pooler, 2 drivers that have shown that they're willing to stay aggressive to make sure that they're not making sure that they stay at least on the lead lap, or just battle as hard as they can. We'll see how aggressive they want to be. 2 laps to go. Throwing it down deep is going to be Cody Reed. You know what? You don't need to save these tires anymore. Just send it, and that's what the 25 did.
Oh, major mistake, and that has took away his shot here this lap. If he'd have been nice and smooth through there and just got up to these lap cars heading to the bus stop, he might have had a chance coming out of that carousel, but now has given the gap that Trenton Jump needs as he heads down the back straightaway. He's got a little bit of breathing room, and he's breathing a sigh of relief for sure, but still has 2 or 1.5 laps here to go as they head to the bus stop.
And the big thing for Trenton Jump is he's going to be catching these lap drivers at the carousel, a prime position and spot for lap traffic to get out of the way, but they're going to battle. They're going to be side by side. That is going to be costing time. If Jump catches them at the wrong moment, they're going to be finally single filing out. And dipping low is going to be Carl Pooler getting out of the way. Christopher Norris trying to stay on the lead lap if possible. As they go down into turn number 6, it's going to be Trenton Jump by 1.4 seconds so far. Lap traffic in between our leader and second place. Trenton Jump's feeling comfortable, but not fully secure. Out of the final lap, coming to the front stretch, coming to that of the Fletcher's Flores white flag. It is all Trenton Jump for now.
Trenton jump, but hasn't got by Norris yet. White flag is out, and he's going to be stuck behind him. It looks like heading through the S's. Little bit of a slip from the rear tires. This has let Cody Reed close the gap a little bit, but he also slips the rear tires, so it lets that gap close back in between. But this is the last one, Sam. Up the S's for the final time. Trenton jump, looking to pull this off after getting taken out at one point during this race. He's driven the damage car back to the lead. He's just trying to hold off for one more final time.
But this is the slowest time. He's got to get aggressive, got to get by Norris, and now Norris going to be in between their leaders. Cody Reed, nowhere to go, and it's going to be Norris throwing the 25 up in the outside wall, and just like that, an opportunity for a win snuffed out in an instant. You thought it might have been jumped that would have been thrown out of the way. It's not. Now Cody Reed, he's got to be trying to get up to speed. It's the 16 of Tom Bourne. He's on the charge to go for second, but up front, it is all Trenton Jump coming to the second to last corner. Thought he was going to be wiped out. His race done by that of Jonathan Pittman. He survived the wrecks, the scars, the bruises. He wipes it all clean and out of turn number 7. The Battle of the Goats, 135. He can drift it out because he's going to be a winner at the Glen for the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series.
What a win, and what a way to fuel that flame for the 46 for sure. And there it is. Cody Reed comes across the line second for Cody Reed, along with Tom Bourne there in the third spot. But man, what a climatic into that race there, and definitely a wild one, Sam, and going to be plenty of storylines for sure. A lot of talking after this race. You're definitely not going to want to miss out.
15th place. He spun around. He's going to have to take a tow.
Oh no!
Oh no! That's losing positions, Justin. Oh, he lost spots. Drivers are still in the lead lap, going to be finishing out this race. He was up in that of 12th. He had to take it, so was trapped on the wall, and the 18th goes from finishing up potentially in 13th position to all the way up to 19th and potentially more if once all the drivers come across the line.
Wow. I believe it's going to drop him possibly all the way back to 20th once they cross the line. But man, unfortunate for Justin Sipes is up front early in this race, battling with Danny Cochran, gets involved in that incident, and again coming down to the end gets caught up in some. So man, oh man, tough race and a tough break for a lot of these guys. But man, Trenton Jump, what adversity he just went through to get that win. I cannot believe with how hard a hit he did to the outside of the wall with Jonathan Pittman slamming him there. I did not expect that thing to hang together, but if you look at the nose, it's really not that bad. It's just a little bit of left side damage and some rear end damage. So really fared pretty well, and man, that thing's definitely built pretty tough.
Oh, it certainly is, and luckily Jonathan Pittman is no longer on track, which means for the 46, he doesn't have to worry about someone coming in and absolutely slamming him before he can burn down these tires. He already got slammed in the middle of the race. Well, now it's time for him to have some fun coming across the start-finish line. The 46, Trent Jump, gets the win and gets the burn it down. For us in the booth, we're going to calm down, get the storylines right, because we'll come back with the post-race show. Tom Bourne, Cody Reed, and your winner, Trent Jump. We'll talk to them in just a few. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series for the Freaky Fast Broadcasting post-race show of the Battle of the Goats 135, and it certainly was a battle for the majority of these drivers. You can see the wounded 16 of Tom Bourne comes away with a third-place finish. Let's have a talk. Go see what Mr. Bourne's ideas of tonight's race went for himself. Tom, that is Sam and Zach up in the booth. What a race for yourself, coming away with a third place finish, but we could see it on screen. That truck certainly had a battle here tonight.
Yeah, definitely didn't have the best truck in the field. Came into here with just trying to get a top 10. And as the race went on, learned some things, different gearing and different turns. And, glad towards the middle part of the race, I'm like, all right, yeah, we can get a top 5 out of this. And then I don't know what happened to Isaac as the race went on, but he just started falling off. And, unfortunately, had nothing for the 25 or the 46. They were in a league of their own.
Hey, Tom, great run, man. The sack up here in the booth. Nonetheless, like you said, you want to come out here with the top 10, top 5 run. You got yourself a top 3, so that's definitely got to be a big bonus on tonight's race. But, man, we've head up to the first, real test, I would say, for, this season to see, who's got what when we head off to Atlanta next week. How you feel about that is possibly one of the last times we even raced at that surface.
I'm looking forward to it. Atlanta is one of my better tracks on the sim nowadays. Basically just got to have consistent runs from here on out. Unfortunately, we got a 43rd at Daytona, not where I wanted to be. Bounce back well this week, and hopefully we can just keep the momentum going. Hopefully you'll see the 16 truck run up front, and we'll see what we can do. Hopefully no lap trucks impinge me or anybody else.
I mean, it was a great run here, Tom. And before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for putting on an amazing broadcast week in and week out. The 16 player one Ford Mustang was fast all night long. Thanks to them for coming on board another season. G Fuel, Sky Motorsports for putting together a great truck like usual. Kira, she's watching. Shout out to her. Biggest supporter nonstop. And Danny for bringing me back for another season. And hopefully we continue and can get ourselves a championship.
That's going to be Tom Bourne in the 16 machine. Congratulations on a top 3 run, and good luck next week.
Thanks, guys.
As now we go to what was a drama-filled run for second place. A driver that almost was able to steal away a win here tonight. We got Cody Reed up in the booth. Cody, let's start things off. You went from a potential chance of feeling like you were just going for second, and that was what you were aiming for, to having a chance to win after Trenton being wiped out. What was going through your mind initially when you saw that the 46 was wiped out and you were provisionally the leader at that moment?
Man, I've been so unlucky throughout last season, and then especially the end of last race. And I thought for once I had luck on my side, and then as soon as I saw him catch up to me again, I'm like, oh my god. But it was really nice for that 30 seconds that I was in the lead. It was pretty exhilarating, I guess. But I don't know, second place, I'm pretty okay with that. That's the first time I've had an interview, so that's cool.
Yeah, it definitely is, Cody. It's also Zach in the booth, man. Congrats on getting second here tonight. And that's kind of what I allude to. Your first time in here on the podium at the Truck Series, and also go looking back at the road courses last season, you had times where you were quick there also, but what's changed? How much work did you put in this week? Because it's definitely shown, man, to bring home a second place finisher in the stack field.
I think I used to be absolutely awful at road courses, and then at Daytona, I had Brandon Cawley give me some advice, and that made me a lot faster there, and it just made me a lot better of a road course racer in general. And I had a mishap during qualifying that race, and I feel like I definitely would have got my first top 5 there, or even a top 3 there, if I didn't have to go throughout the field. So I feel like that result doesn't really count, I guess. But this race, I've been practicing I put in hours on top of hours. I probably put at least 6-7 hours in here. Um, I've had practice sessions with my team. Um, I've had a lot of hours just in by myself, and then obviously the the hosted practice sessions that like Danny and them ran. So
Well, Cody, it was a great run for yourself. Second place here tonight. Almost got a win. But before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout outs.
yeah, I'd like to thank my team, Blackjack Racing. I actually got on the team at the end of last season, but I never updated the little thing on the standings, so you guys never saw that. But I'm on Blackjack Racing now, and I'd like to thank them. Forbes, Ethan Smith, McAdam. We talked during the race. It's awesome. Like to thank my parents for buying a lot of this iRacing stuff for me. I wouldn't be able to do iRacing for them, so that's cool. Um, and then like Christopher Norris, he's just funny. I like talking to him. He's like my little motivation guy during these races. So yeah, and I like to give props to Trenton Jump for racing me clean there to the end.
That's going to be Cody Reed in the 25 machine coming away with a second place finish. Congratulations, Cody, and good luck next week.
Yep, thank you.
As now we go to Victory Lane, where a driver's going to have a lot of different feelings about tonight, but overall gets the win. We bring in Trenton Jump into the booth. Trenton, it's Sam and Zach. Let's start things off. I mean, it's not a question anymore. I mean, you blatantly got wiped out. What was going through your mind, and what do you feel like might have set off Pittman to try to take you out and go head hunting?
Well, if you go back and you watch the clash, he forced me below the yellow, and I stayed down there, and then he came down across my nose and cleared himself out, and he's still upset over something that happened in a non-points paying race, and just decided to completely wipe me out, and then used the excuse, well, there was room on the other side. Well, I didn't have nowhere to go. You're just trying to direct me. There was 3 attempts in 1 lap for him to direct me, and he finally cleared me out. Like I don't, I can't believe that's something they tolerate in this league. I surely am gonna think that they're gonna do something about it, but at the end of the day, I'm just glad I had enough speed to come back and win because it shouldn't have been that close. It should have been a way bigger gap. I practiced a lot this week to have that much speed, and I'm glad it paid off in the end.
It definitely did pay off, man. Able to drive through the damage after definitely blatantly getting taken out there from the lead. And like you said, it would have been a much bigger gap in margin of victory, but able to drive back to the lead with the damage. I mean, how much fuel does that add to the fire, especially, going into next week? Does that make you want to even go the next week even more and, try to get that second win, man?
Well, it's been 2 weeks in a row now. I've been in the front and gotten wrecked towards the end of a race, so maybe it'll happen again next week. But at least we're locked in now, so not really too much worried about going forward.
Well, Trenton, congratulations on the win and surviving the headhunting that happened there. I would imagine that Jonathan Pittman is either going to get removed or penalized heavily for this one. But for you, congratulations on the win. And before we let you go, the floor is all yours for any shout outs.
Yeah, I just want to thank Justin at That Color Teal Designs for painting the truck. It's an old paint. We got new trucks coming tomorrow, so I'm grateful for that. They look really, really good, and I'm excited to race them next week. Thank you guys for broadcasting this thing. It's been a minute since I've talked to you guys. It's been good to hear you. And just want to thank TJ, the team owner at Armadillo Motorsports. We're digging along here.
That's going to be Trenton Jump in the 46 machine coming away with a win here tonight. And Zach, that team as a whole, they certainly are causing a lot of trouble here. One, they get taken out this week. Last week, causing wrecks. This is certainly causing the drama on the start of a brand new season. And hopefully things can get cleaned up. We don't want to see people intentionally wrecking one another. We want to see clean, hard racing and building up the rivalries that way. But tonight certainly got messy after those green flag pit stops.
Oh, I think you could. That's a good way to explain it, messy for sure. And yeah, we'll have to see what comes from this. I'm sure it's going to be a big, big talking point heading throughout the rest of the season, and especially into next week at Atlanta. What comes from that? But yeah, I mean, you just gotta give it up to Trenton there. I mean, you don't see that many times where someone gets taken out and then they come back to even win the race. So, I mean, that's a mental fortitude from that guy. And it, like you said, he put in the practice this week to be that fast, and it showed for that reason. So, going to see what he can do at Atlanta. I mean, he was definitely a top contender there at Daytona. Like you said, he ended up in a wreck coming out of 4 there. So we'll have to see what he can do heading down there to Atlanta, man. But yeah, definitely a wild night, but nothing short here for the NAISCC Truck Series. Always some drama right around the corner or something exciting to spark everything for us up here in the booth. Unfortunately for Trenton Jump, the excitement was his wrecking through the wall tonight for us.
As we take a look at the messed up machine, we're actually going to take a final look at the unofficial racing results because this it could be swapped around. We'll see if it does or not. But we know the man that won tonight, Trenton Jump, after being wiped out, comes back, passes Cody Reed for the lead, and pulls away with a 6-second lead after Cody Reed making his mistake and being taken out by Norris there on that last lap. Just mistimed for the 25, and that's going to be disappointing. Third place going to be going to Tom Bourne, Isaac Shelley, that of Paul Pergoli, as well as that of James Tremmel, Anthony Agadio, Logan Brakey, that of George Fonseca, as well as that of Thomas Green. Going to finish out your top 10. And you look at the rest of the field, there's going to be some drivers that are excited to see us go back to oval racing. Others, this is just the start of the season. They did not want. I think everyone's got it circled up now, Zach. We're going back to a cookie cutter 1.5-mile course. Going to Atlanta, I think they would be happy to go back to something that's a little bit more regular.
Oh, they definitely will. I think a few of those guys near down the bottom of that list, they were just trying to survive tonight. And unfortunately, the second race of the season, they've ended up near down that bottom of the list. But they got Atlanta next week. I mean, what a tough oval that is to try to go to and see what they can produce there. But we'll have to see who are the top hitters there at the intermediate tracks. That's one of the things we alluded to at Daytona is seeing who these new rookies and how they were going to fare at the tracks we went to. Right now, I mean, looking pretty good. A rookie winner here in race number 2 for Trenton Jump, and Cody Reed, one of the drivers from last season, finished in second there and showing a lot of improvement. So I'm excited to see when we get to Oval who's improved there and what do they have to show from last season. It's definitely always cool to see how second seasons are compared to a first one.
Who's going to show up and who's not? Well, this has been a fantastic week of racing action on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, but it doesn't end now, as tonight we're done. Tomorrow, a little bit of a break, but Wednesday night, it's Underdog Racing League for Nashville Super Speedway. Thursday, you got the Stars and Stripes Cup Series racing at that of Worldwide Technology Raceway, aka Gateway. Saturday, we're on an off season until that of March 26th, and then we're right back to it Sunday night. It doesn't say it on our schedule here, but MPI Cup Series back on Sunday. A little ton of racing throughout the week, and it's only the beginning. More on Wednesday, but tonight it was all that of the 46. Trenton Jump leading the majority of the field, majority of the laps for the majority of the field, then was being headhunted by that of Jonathan Pittman, and somehow scaved away with the damaged truck to get the win here tonight. What a wild one it was. Can't wait to see what the next race is going to bring. Atlanta next Monday night for the NAISCC Race Car Graveyard Truck Series. But for us on Freaky Fast, we hope to see you Wednesday for Underdog Racing League. We'll see you then. Have a great rest of your night, everybody.